I felt that my job as an actor was to get the essence of Dan, but not a caricature of Dan. And if I'd gone too far, trying to imitate every part of him, it would have ended up being a caricature, which would have hurt the film. So it was a question of getting things like essence, you know, his manner, his style, his dress, which is certainly not my dress. And so I tried to get that, and then pull back from going too far in that direction, and get the essence of him that I remember, because I watched him on CBS. I mean, he was a nightly figure. Also, Dan and I had this may be getting off the track, but he and I had an encounter many years ago in the early 70s when he was working for 60 Minutes on an environmental issue out west that was undercover. It was being hidden by some energy companies, and he came out to do the story for 60 Minutes, and that's where Dan and I first met. So that was my prior introduction to Dan, but since that time, we did not have that much interaction.
Well, it was interesting. You didn't do, like, I would say, the folksy kind of things that Dan often does. It was very much, you know, well, Dan is famous for that, and I think beloved for that. But I think you were hooked into the fact that this was really a very serious and, you know, for him, had many implications. So it seemed to me that's what your focus was on, not let's show.
Yeah, and you know, Dan is a very decent person. I'm not, and so he's got I don't want to go too far with this, but I mean he's got a decency and a manner and a style that's almost uncommon.
It's very courtly, isn't it?
Yeah, and I found that really interesting.
Yeah, and Cate, go ahead.
Bill, I will say. About whatever anybody thinks about this film, I'm certainly not a film critic, but the roles that Cate and Bob took here and their ability to capture the essence of two of the main characters in the film, and I can speak to Bob's, that others will have to judge how well or poorly I did it, but I always tried to be a pull no punches, play no favorites reporter who was loyal to the people and supported the people with whom he worked. And Bob captured that essence, and I'm very grateful to him for doing that in a very difficult role. And also, if I may add, with Mary Mapleson, who is the central character of this film, is somebody I've known and worked with for a long time. Without question, one of, if not the best investigative television producers of her time. And I'm amazed, still in awe, of how much of her essence that Cate got. That I know things about Mary, things like how she puts her hand to her hair, her toughness mixed with her vulnerability and even fragility. It's an amazing performance.
Well, it is, and I wonder, did you meet Mary? Did you try to get to know her a little bit?
Yes, I had the great good fortune. I was on stage here in New York last August, and you know, most films of this tenor, this sort of the deal with you know, this size budget, and as controversial as the film is, get a long, you know, takes forever to get made. But this got up in a nanosecond, so we didn't have a lot of time. And I rang Jamie and said, "Would Mary meet me?" And she's such a go-getter. She was there in 12 hours, so she came to see the play, and we sat down, and then we Skyped a lot. And she was amazingly generous. She's meticulous. And meticulously organised. So she presented me with folder upon folder upon folder, you know, about what her lounge room, what colour her lounge room was, you know, how she organised her closets. Really? You know, she has one of the most well-organised handbags of any woman I've ever met, which says a lot. But it's just, I got to ask her a lot of really inane, stupid questions, because this is in no way a biopic, but yet you have two of the most fascinating, interesting, intelligent, engaged, curious, hilarious, Mary's absolutely hilarious, individuals. So we tried to, I think both of us tried to seed, you know, all of those character details in there whilst, you know, telling the freight train that is the story.